Your tomato plant is lying to you. It looks healthy. It's full of beautiful yellow flowers. You've been watering it, feeding it, taking care of it all season, and you're waiting and waiting, and those flowers just keep dropping off. No fruit, no tomatoes, nothing. Just a plant that looks great and produces absolutely nothing. Here's the truth. Those flowers falling off is not bad luck. It's not the weather. It's not a mystery. It's a specific set of mistakes, and every single one of them is completely fixable once you know what's actually causing it. In this video, you're going to find out exactly why your tomato plant flowers but won't fruit, what you need to fix today, a kitchen ingredient that works like a fertilizer upgrade, and a hand pollination trick that can double your tomato production in less than a week. And the last one, almost nobody does this, but it works so fast you'll see results before the week is out. Before we get into it, if you've been putting effort into your home and garden but still running into stubborn messes and smells you can't get rid of, there's a good chance you're missing one of the most underrated cleaning tools out there. We just covered it in 17 shaving cream cleaning hacks that will blow your mind, and gardeners especially were shocked at how useful it was around the house. Take a look after this. It's worth it. Now let's fix your tomato plant, because the problem is almost certainly one of these. The real reason your flowers are dropping. Most people assume the plant just needs more water or more sun. Wrong. Blossom drop, that's the official name for what's happening, is almost always caused by stress, temperature stress, pollination failure, nutrient imbalance, or a combination of all three. Your plant is producing flowers because it wants to reproduce, but something in its environment is telling it that now is not a safe time to set fruit, so it drops the flower and tries again later. Your job is to remove whatever is causing that stress, and do it fast, because every dropped flower is a tomato you'll never eat. Here's where most people mess up. They see the flowers, they think everything is going well, and they do nothing differently. Meanwhile, the plant is screaming for help in the only language it knows. Let's go through each cause one by one, and more importantly, exactly what to do about each one. Problem 1. Temperature is outside the sweet spot. This is the #1 cause of blossom drop, and almost nobody checks it. Tomatoes are incredibly picky about temperature when it comes to fruit set. If daytime temperatures go above 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, or if nighttime temperatures drop below 55, the flowers drop, period. The pollen becomes non-viable in the heat. The plant goes into self-protection mode in the cold. Either way, no tomatoes. Here's where most people mess up. They see the flowers, they think everything is going well, and they do nothing differently. Meanwhile, the plant is screaming for help in the only language it knows. What you do is this. During a heat wave, give your plant shade during the hottest part of the day, between noon and 4 p.m. A piece of shade cloth, an old bed sheet, even a lawn chair positioned to block direct afternoon sun. It sounds too simple, but cutting peak heat exposure can be the difference between a productive plant and one that just flowers endlessly without fruiting. At night, if temperatures are still dipping into the mid-50s or lower, cover the plant with a light frost cloth or even a light blanket. That extra 5 to 10 degrees of warmth at night is often enough to get pollination going. This is where it changes everything. Most gardeners never think about managing temperature around their plants. Once you start, your results shift completely. Problem 2. Your plant has a pollination problem. Here's something most people don't realize. Tomatoes are self-pollinating, meaning each flower has both male and female parts. They don't technically need bees to pollinate, but they do need vibration. In nature, bees buzz at a specific frequency that shakes the pollen loose inside the flower. Wind does it too. But if your plant is in a sheltered spot, against a wall, inside a greenhouse, on a patio with no air movement, it might not be getting enough vibration for the pollen to release. No pollen release, no pollination, no tomatoes, just flowers that fall off and leave you confused. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Once a day, go out to your plant and gently shake each flower cluster. Not hard, just a light tap or a gentle shake of the stem behind the flower. You can also use an electric toothbrush. Press the back of it against the stem behind the flower for 2 or 3 seconds. The vibration mimics what a bumblebee does naturally. Do this in the morning when temperatures are cooler and pollen is most active. Do this every single morning for 1 week and watch what happens. This one technique alone has turned completely unproductive plants into heavy producers within days. But here's the mistake. People do it once, see no immediate change, and stop. Pollination takes a few days to show results. Stick with it. And while you're doing it, step 7 is going to make this even more effective. Problem 3. You're overwatering or underwatering. This one surprises people. Both too much water and too little water cause blossom drop for different reasons. Overwatering drowns the roots, limits oxygen uptake, and stresses the plant. Underwatering causes the plant to conserve energy by dropping anything non-essential, including flowers, to survive. Here's the test. Stick your finger 2 inches into the soil near the base of the plant. If it's wet and stays wet for more than 2 days, you're overwatering. If it's dry and crumbly more than 1 inch down, you're underwatering. The goal is consistently moist soil, like a wrung-out sponge, not soaking wet, not bone dry. Tomatoes in containers need water almost every day in summer heat. In-ground tomatoes usually need deep watering 2 to 3 times a week. And here's the part almost nobody does. Water deeply when you water. A slow, deep soak encourages roots to grow downward and access consistent moisture. A quick, shallow spray keeps the roots near the surface, where they dry out fast and stress easily. Add mulch around the base of the plant. Straw, wood chips, or even shredded leaves, about 2 to 3 inches deep. This keeps soil moisture stable between waterings and cuts down your work significantly. This is where most gardeners lose tomatoes they never even knew they had. Problem 4. Nitrogen overload is killing your fruit. This is one of the most common and least talked about reasons for a plant that looks lush and healthy but produces nothing. If you've been feeding your tomatoes with a general-purpose fertilizer, the kind with a high first number, like 10-10-10 or similar, you may have accidentally loaded the plant with too much nitrogen. Nitrogen makes plants grow. Leaves, stems, green growth, all of it loves nitrogen. But too much nitrogen tells the plant to keep growing vegetatively instead of switching into reproduction mode. Your plant gets huge and beautiful and full of leaves and flowers, and then drops every flower because it's focused on growing, not fruiting. Here's the fix. Switch to a low first number and a higher third number, something like 5-10-10 or 3-4-6. The middle number is phosphorus, which promotes root development and flowering. The third number is potassium, which supports fruit development and overall plant health. Once your plant is flowering, it needs less nitrogen and more of those last 2 numbers. But here's the kitchen trick that actually works. Crush up a banana peel or just bury a whole one near the base of your plant. Banana peels are naturally high in potassium and phosphorus. As they break down, they feed exactly what a fruiting tomato plant needs. Free, natural, and genuinely effective. Combine that with a potassium-forward fertilizer and your plant gets the message. It's time to fruit, not just flower. Problem 6. Your plant is overcrowded and can't breathe. Look at your plant right now. Is it one big, dense bush of leaves and suckers growing in every direction? If yes, that's a problem. When a tomato plant gets overcrowded, airflow drops, humidity around the leaves increases, pests and fungal issues set in, and the plant diverts energy into managing all that excess growth instead of putting it into fruit. Here's where people mess up. They think more plant means more tomatoes. It doesn't. A pruned plant produces more fruit than an overgrown one every single time. The fix is to remove suckers. Suckers of small shoots that grow in the V-shaped crotch between the main stem and a primary branch. Pinch them off when they're small, less than 2 inches. Leave the main stem and the primary branches. Your plant will look less impressive, but it will produce dramatically more. Also remove any yellowing or dead leaves at the bottom of the plant. They're not contributing to photosynthesis, they're just inviting disease. This is one of those 5-minute tasks that makes a bigger difference than almost anything else you can do for a tomato plant. Problem 7. The morning routine that changes everything. Here is the full daily habit that the most productive home gardeners use, and almost nobody outside of serious gardening circles knows about this. Every morning, before the heat of the day sets in, do these 3 things. First, check the soil moisture with your finger. Water deeply if needed. Second, gently shake or vibrate every flower cluster on the plant for 2 to 3 seconds each. Third, do a quick visual check. Look for yellowing leaves, unusual spots, suckers that need pinching, and any signs of pests on the underside of leaves. That entire routine takes about 4 minutes. 4 minutes every morning, and it covers pollination, watering consistency, pest prevention, and plant health, all at once. This is the difference between someone who grows tomatoes and someone who harvests them. The plant is doing its part. You just need to show up every morning and do yours. Here is the fast version of everything you just learned. Check your temperatures and provide shade or cover when needed. Hand pollinate your flowers every morning by shaking or vibrating the stems for 2 to 3 seconds each. Water deeply and consistently, not shallowly and randomly. Switch to a low nitrogen, high potassium fertilizer and bury banana peels near the roots. Prune your suckers and remove dead leaves to improve airflow. Add calcium through eggshells or diluted powdered milk water. And do that 4-minute morning check every single day. You now know more about tomato problems than most gardeners who have been doing this for years. The flowers were never the problem. Everything around the flowers was. And now you know exactly how to fix it. And here's something interesting. Once your tomatoes actually start producing, keeping your kitchen and home clean around all that garden work gets its own set of challenges. What most people don't realize is that some of the most powerful cleaning solutions you'll ever use aren't expensive specialty products. There's something sitting right next to your kitchen sink. And once you see what it can do on grease, grime, outdoor furniture, floors, and even laundry, you'll never look at it the same way again. That's exactly what we break down in 23 Dawn dish soap hacks that clean your entire home better than expensive products. It's one of the most practical things we've ever covered. Don't wait on that one.